Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's show. Yes, tonight we are on. Ladies and gentlemen, reasonable minds, good evening and welcome to tonight's show. The time now is 20 minutes after 8 p.m. Yes. Right here from the Grand Studio of Kineki Magician Media Group here in Boston, Massachusetts. We are reaching to you and coming to you live. If you're just joining us from the other side of the Atlantic, you know we are talking about Nigeria and the other parts of Africa. We know each morning we are saying good morning and welcome to the show. If you're still awake, and if you're joining us from anywhere here in the U.S., continental U.S., or any other parts of the world, we're saying good evening, good afternoon, good morning, as the case may be, wherever you are. Yes, this evening, we're coming to you live and direct here, and we have a show this evening that is like any other show, different from any other show. This show tonight is so dear to me. What we have tonight is so dear to me, ladies and gentlemen. It's so dear to me that I mean, this is going to be the biggest show that I've done in almost my 100th show. I'm getting close to doing the 100th show now. This show tonight is the best of the best for me. And you get to understand why as you move further. I've done political shows, I've done marriage shows, I've done so many shows, but this show tonight is as important as it can be. And I want you, wherever you are, to share. For the first time, I'm asking at the beginning of the show for people to share and invite people, let them know that this show tonight is on. Okay? Share and let people know that the show tonight is on. I need every mind, every face, everybody tonight on this show. This is very, very, very important because this is the thing that makes us human. And this is the things that this show is also, the topic on this show is also what can make us inhumane. Depends on how we see, view, and talk about this situation tonight. Okay? Because once upon a time, we were this young. Okay? So we're going to look into this, look into the prevalent nature of child abuse, neglect, maltreatment, and oppression in Nigeria. We're not saying that it's a national concern. Tonight, we're going to look at some pictures. We're going to look at some videos. We're going to look at some stories behind the pictures. Okay, we're going to hear stories behind the pictures as we have it tonight. Okay, yeah, to some of us, it might not be popular because it's not gossip. It's not gossip. It's not sexual situations and all kind of other things that can draw your attention. But I tell you what, like I just said, this is one of those shows, one of those topics that brings out the humane part of us. Because you know how you feel when you see some of these tapes, some of these videos, when you see them, how you feel about them. Okay? Tonight, I want it to be our discourse. Yes, I want it to be our discourse tonight. I want us to look into the deep pain that these children have gone through or are going through as they grow to adult, those that lived to tell their stories, those that live or survived it. Okay? We're going to look at some of them. We're going to look at also some of the inflators of this pain. Okay? We're going to also look at some of the inflators of this pain. Some people, some of them, these pains have been caused or inflicted on them by their parent. Okay? By their parent, while a parent is doing and the other parent is watching. Okay? Some of them also, this has been also been inflicted by somebody they trust, either an auntie or an uncle. Okay? Include also family members, brothers, sisters, all kinds of things. I mean, as I try to research this story and try to look into it and stuff, I can only hold myself together. Honestly, I can only hold myself together in actually looking at what some of these kids have gone through. no matter what the accusations are, no matter what they've been alleged of doing and stuff, nobody, no child of anybody deserves what some of these kids have gone through. Okay, we're going to hear their stories tonight. We're going to see their pictures tonight. And we're going to see what we can do about some of these things. Some of them are as old as 5, 6 years old. Some of the kids were rescued. Some were not lucky to be rescued. Okay, so that is what we have tonight more than anything. I have a political information, political news to that I could have been talking about tonight, but I choose to do this because I promised you guys for the past 2, 3 days now, 2, 3 shows, that we're going to be discussing this. Okay, I've moved this particular part of the show. I've moved this for 2 days now to today. And I said to myself, do I move this show again today? I said, no, I will not be doing justice to my spirit. Okay, if I continue to move this. No information right now, no news right now means anything to me, okay, than this particular topic. Because some of these kids, what they've gone through, okay, what they've gone through is from these politicians. Some of these keys were being used for rituals. I'm telling you, all kinds of things, okay, we hear regarding these children, what they've gone through, honestly. Regarding what they've gone through. So like I said again, we're going to see some stories tonight. Yeah, we are. We're going to see some stories tonight. We're going to see some stories tonight. Some of them are touching stories as they are. Some of them are touching stories. You say to yourself, are there still people like this living among us? Okay. Most of these people today, nothing happened to them. Some of these perpetrators, some of the people that did this thing to these kids, nothing happened to them today. Nothing. Because of what? Because of where we came from. Justice were not served for these children. Justice was not, or were not served for these children. Okay. Some of them, and these are things we know. If it's here, some people will be doing lifetime. They'll be doing lifetime sentences. But like I said again, we're going to look into it. I wish all of us will come on tonight. I know this is one of those shows you say, which one concern me for this one? That's what some of you will be saying, which one concern me for this one? But you see, okay, like I've always said to us on this show, an attack on one is an attack on many. An attack on one is an attack on many. Okay, I need everyone to come on tonight. This is not one of those shows I would like you guys to come after, which most of you do. I understand. This might not be a good time for you guys. I understand. But again, the show must still go on. I will still discuss this. I will still talk about this because I know that, like I said again, quite a whole of you do come on after the show. But one thing I will beg of you is, at any point in time that you come across this show, I want you to share this tape. Honestly, this is one of those tapes I would like you to share. Okay, mostly to the people in Nigeria, because that's all these things we're hearing. 99.9% of the stories we're going to talk about tonight happened in Nigeria. I didn't want to pick up the ones from other countries and stuff. I just picked up the one that are from Nigeria, and I tried to headline it that way. Okay, but it's something that is happening all over the world, and it's happening because these kids are vulnerable. These kids are vulnerable, But we're going to, like I said again, we're going to have an in-depth look into this situation. Why it happened, why it's happening, why it's becoming rampant. We're hearing it now daily, and what are people doing about it? There are so many fingers we can be pointing tonight about this, honestly. There are so many fingers we can be pointing tonight about this, but I really want us to look at it for what it is. It's not one of those ones I would like you to come across and you just flip over. You know what I mean? I'm going to try and invite some people on to come on. If we have people who are psychiatrist, psychologist, or whomever you are on that field, please, I would like you to come on. I would like you to come on tonight so that you can be part of what we are talking about. Please, I beg of you to join us tonight and be part of what we are talking about. You know, I'm sending, sending it out to, sending it out to people so that they can come on. It's quite unfortunate, like I said. It's quite unfortunate, like I said, that these things was happening under our watch, and you will know why I say under our watch. You will know why I said that in a few minutes. That this was happening under our watch, okay? But again, as I look into or dive into the, in trying to research for the show, there are some other things that I got to find out also, in the sense that people now are familiar with this, and people are no longer turning blind eyes. You know what I mean? People are no longer turning blind eyes. They are now rising to the occasion. So I'm happy about that. That these kids, some cases getting justice now. In some cases they're getting justice. I love that, because sometimes when these kids go through what they go through, they be questioning, why did I come out of, why did I come into this world? Why did I come into this world? Like nobody cares, like nobody cares. So that's what we're talking about. So thank you, whoever that is on, thank you for joining us. And every one of you that are coming on, thank you for coming on. Okay, so that's exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about this show tonight. We're going to see some disturbing videos. We're going to see some disturbing videos, some disturbing pictures. Okay, and we're going to hear stories behind all these things. There are other shows I can do that will bring every one of you out. If I'm doing something sexual now, everybody will come out. Yesterday, we were doing, we had a show yesterday and the place was crowded and stuff. But I would like that crowd to come on tonight, honestly, because of this topic. I would like us to come on tonight. Like I said again, an attack on one. You might look at their faces and be like, who are these people? I don't know them. Why should I bother myself? Okay? But you see, that would be quite unfortunate of you. That would be quite unfortunate of you if you are to make that decision, if you are to share that. If you look at them and ignore, if you ignore what their pen is speaking to you, because if you look at some of these marks that came out of this pen and stuff, it speaks. It can speak to your conscience. No matter even if you're a die-harder, okay, the pen that these kids went through at the time of this infliction can speak to your eyes, speak to your mind, speak to everything that is you, if you are human. Like I said before, this is where the human part of it shows and the inhuman part of us shows. It is from issues like this, okay? But again, as is customary over here, we do pray before we start the show. We do pray before we start the show. So tonight is one night we will also do that. We will not leave tonight. We can't go into the show tonight without actually talking to God, okay, about this. Okay. Oh man. Father, tonight we bless you, we honor you, we exalt and adore you for who you are, that they will thank you, for you still remain our Father. You still remain our God, you still remain our Lord, you still remain our provider, you still remain our sustainer. You still remain all that we ask of thee. Hallowed be thy name tonight. Our King and our Redeemer, the light that shines in darkness, cannot comprehend it. The hope of Israel, we thank you, we bless you. We honor and we magnify you tonight as we join the host of heaven to lift up your name, to adore your name, to bless your name, to exalt your name. That name that is Jehovah Jireh, that name that is Jehovah El Shaddai, that name that is Jehovah Te'esikeno, that name that is Jehovah Yahweh, that name that is Jehovah Emmanuel, that name that is Jehovah Shalom. Tonight we bless all that you are. We say thank you, thank you, thank you, and blessed be thy name tonight. Father, tonight as we gather, we're declaring that unto you shall the gathering of your people be. Blessed be thy name tonight for all that you are and all that you've given us. Thank you, Lord. This evening, Father, as we gather, we are saying, is there an offender will make this meeting tonight not to be a pleasant one? Father, forgive us in the mighty name of Jesus. Having accepted your grace and mercy, Father, boldly now we sit in your presence. We ask that you come and take over all that we will do tonight, controlling the affairs of tonight's meeting. Father, I should know the topic and say the topic. I now commit it into your holy hands, committing the affairs of this situation into your holy hands. Father, even the areas of wrong concerning this matter, Father, forgive us in the mighty name of Jesus. Father, I thank you. I bless you, Lord. I commit all that are coming into this meeting and after into your holy hands. I ask, Lord, that your grace, your favor, continue to speak louder and farther for them, Lord, in the mighty name of Jesus. Father, I thank you. I bless you. Committing Nigeria, using Nigeria as a point of contact for all other countries into your holy hands. I ask, Lord, that you continue to open doors and continue to meet us all in our point of needs. In the mighty name of Jesus, hallowed be thy name tonight. For you alone who is worthy and holy in the things you do, and that which you're about to do tonight, be adoration forever. For in Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen and amen and amen. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, as you can see, the topic we have tonight is a topic that I've promised us for the past few days. Okay, it's a topic I told us that I'll be bringing. Okay, is a very deep, concerned topic. Okay, and I pray that you will all sit through the topic with me. Sit through the topic with me. I wouldn't like you to just come and leave. Okay. This is one topic I would like you also to give me your own thoughts and feelings about, because it concerns all of us. You can look at it and say, which one is mine on this one? You know what I mean? And rightfully, you can claim that, you can say that. Which one is mine on this one? Do I know these kids? Who are these kids? I mean, there are so many things you can say to still stay ignorant of the fact, okay, and to this topic. But I beg of you, it is not that. I really want you, the same way you guys join me every evening, those of you that are on tonight with us live, I know that a lot of you don't come after the show. I keep on saying that because I see the numbers and that tells me that, okay? But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're discussing these kids. We're discussing these kids and more, okay? We're discussing them and more. These kids have gone through, there's quite a whole lot of them. It's just that I cannot bring every one of them tonight on the discussion, but I'm just going to generalize their circumstances and their situations. I'm going to generalize it, you know, for what it is. This is a concern because an attack on any child is an attack. I mean, it shows the inability and abilities of the elders around. Okay? These children, the things they go through, I tell you, there were elders, there were adults around them as they go through this, because some of these pains was also inflicted upon them by elders. But the one that hurt most is even the ones like this kid that was chained. This kid that was chained, the one you see in the middle, that was chained. Him. This is him then. This is him after he was rescued and now was put in the right place and the right situation. You can see you can see the difference. He was in this chain. You can't even believe that the person that put him through this, that chained him this, is his dad, his father. After his mother, 2 years after his mother passed away, because of what he was alleged to have done. Maybe he stole something or something of that nature. Okay. His father has 2 other wives with 17 kids, 17 children, 2 other children, 2 other wives. So he has stepmothers. This kid has stepmothers, okay, just with him. But his own mom passed. and they locked him up. They chained him, locked him up in the place they did. His father was a pastor that did this. That did this to this child. This child was eating his feces and all kinds of nonsense that he was going through, being in there by himself. As you see him, he went through a whole lot. And his siblings were there. Let me not even talk about the mothers, the stepmothers, and this demonic father that called himself a pastor. His siblings were there, knowing that their brother was being chained in one of the places in the house under this condition. 17, and they were all comfortably living. They were living comfortably. This is in your Nigeria. This is in my Nigeria. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? There's nothing at this age that this child would do that would deserve this. Nothing. But there's a place kids will just eat because they are hungry, and they will be accused of stealing food and stuff like that, and they will be tortured by their own claimed parent. They'll be tortured. And sometimes these kids go through this, they go through this thing for days under the clear view and watchful eyes of other members of the society, other yard members, and or immediate or internal family members. They will be going through this pain, and the people will be there. This thing is as aged as anything. When it comes to this abuse we're talking about tonight, it's as aged as anything. You know what it is growing up, what most people went through. Some people, some people can relate. Some people can relate with the stories. Sometimes when your father or your mother is flogging you here, you look at him, it's like there's a demon in her eyes or in his eyes. You say to yourself, is this person really my parent? I cannot, to an extent, I can understand the justification of some of the acts when we are growing up, because some of us needed to be dealt with in that form for us to be who we are today. Yes, we are. Yes. Some of us needed to be dealt with by our fathers then and our mothers to an extent for us to be who we are today, to shape us, including when we were being sent to college, to school, secondary school, and stuff. So we went through some kind of, treatment. Let me not use the word treatment then. But this is a new day, this is a new era, this is a new season. Everything now is new. It's no longer how we used to be back then. We were created differently years ago, 50, 60 years ago. We were created differently, 70 years ago. We were created differently. Things then was different compared to what is happening now, with the system, the whole entire world system. And some of the stories I'm talking about now, I'm not talking about things that happened 20 years ago. These are as recent as 2-3 weeks ago, few days, 2-3 days ago, like I said, few weeks ago, few years ago. Some of the stories we're talking about tonight. We've seen these pictures on social medias. We've seen these videos on social medias. And the immediate conclusion that comes to mind is, who is this person that did this? We've seen it. We've seen videos. It's just that some of these videos, I cannot get my hands on them, but there's one video I will show us tonight. There's one I will show us tonight. But we've seen videos over the years of some of these so-called aunties. Those auntie ones are the ones that are, those auntie ones. You see those ones done by aunties, whom are not direct parent to these kids or to the kid in question. Okay, those ones you wonder Is this auntie a human being? And most times, people will try to stop this. That's another thing. But you see, that was how it used to be. Okay? Biko, madam, Biko, forgive him now, forgive her now, and that kind of question, that kind of begging and stuff. That was, you see now, that's not how it is now. Now people take matters into their own hands. People now get to do a citizenship arrest, okay, and give that auntie or that uncle a little bit of their own medicine. It's happening now, as we can see in one of the videos I'm going to show us shortly. It's happening now. It's no longer how it used to be, where it would be happening. People would turn a blind eye. This one not concern me. It's not my child. It's not under my care. That kind of a thing. But these days, it's no longer like that. There are some non-governmental agencies that are getting involved now. There are some also governmental agencies that are getting involved now. People now are getting involved now. The law enforcement agencies are getting involved now. People are getting involved now. But the question is this. Is it still deterring people? Is it still stopping people from doing these acts? No. That is why I say it's a national concern. Even with all these things, all these eyes that are now open, people that are paying attention now, people now that are committing to the cause of some of these situations, okay? It's still happening. I bet you on a daily basis. There are so many. We talked about abuse, we talked about maltreatment, we talked about oppression, we talked about maltreatment, in so many ways. And you now look at what is being used, or the form of how this abuse, what form of abuse that we're talking about. We're talking about abuse now that is done by knife, as we're going to see some of the cases. Okay, we see some kids that are being chained, like the one we just talked about now. You see some of the kids that are being knifed. Okay, they will use knife, will put knife on the hot fire and be, eating these kids up. Eating these kids up. You see some of them that are being peppered. That one is as old as also all of us, the pepper one. But it's again, where did some of this peppering are done? You see some of them again that are being flogged. When they're flogging these kids, they flog them like they're animal. You can't even flog an animal. So if you flog an animal will run away. Or an animal can come back to attack you. But these kids are defenseless. Completely. They only are the mercy of anybody that is coming to their aid then, or the person that is inflicting this pain on them. I can understand the tap here and there. I can understand that. Okay? I can understand that here and there, because again, some of these kids can really be something else. Yes. But still, that does not warrant. That does not justify the kind of pain. The kind of pain. Look at this one. And look at the auntie. Look at this beautiful. Do you know what this child is going to be tomorrow? Look at how beautiful this child is. But look at now the auntie. You can see that that's a fire bomb. She was accusing. She said that she didn't know what got into her. She didn't know what got into her. Not only did she, listen to this story on this woman. Not only did she put this pen, she went as far as putting a nail on this girl's head. And you said to yourself, can you imagine what this child will be saying to herself? God, where are you? Of course, it's not her child. And that her child that she's carrying there. Imagine somebody putting such a thing on that little child. After putting, look at the girl's hand. Look at her hand. Look at her body. Then, like I said again, it was not enough for this woman. This wicked soul we are seeing now. It was not enough for her. She still went at the extent of putting a nail on this girl. You can see this thing coming out. Putting a nail on this girl's head. And this person is a human like me and you living. And she has her own beautiful daughter there that she's a child she's carrying. And she's doing this thing to another child's daughter. Another person's daughter or child. Look at that girl. Imagine the trauma. Like I was saying before, if these things are in this kind of foreign land where we are, I know that Nigerians now are sleeping, but thank God that a whole lot of them do see our show through some of the forums where we share our shows. A whole lot of them. And I thank God again for what they are doing, because they have woken up. They are now fighting back. The society now is fighting back against this phenomena, this abuse, this thing that is going on now, this thing that is a trend. I'm so sorry, I didn't even see some of the stories around there. Okay. Yes, it is dangerous. It is dangerous. Yes, wicked soul. They are not human. Yes, hon. They are not. Yes. Okay. So you see this kind of people. They are among us. They're living among us. But like I was saying before, people now are no longer sitting behind and turning a blind eye, sitting aside and turning a blind eye, okay, and watch this thing happen. Because that's how it used to be back in the days. That's how it used to be back in the days. When these things are going on, people just mind their business, you know? After all, her child, him child, and that kind of a thing. But it's no longer so. It's no longer as usual. Because this is the new era. That's where we are now. Where people don't, because an attack on one is an attack on many. And as an adult, when you see a crime, because this is crime, big time crime. If it's this place, this woman will go to jail for life. This is life. Child endangerment in foreign lands brings big time this thing. And she will not even survive it in jail. Because there are set of people in jail that people don't mercy for. You see, anybody that puts any kind of harm on a child, okay, that is one. And somebody else again, all right, that snitches. Those two sort of people don't make it when they go to jail. If it's this place, this woman will not make it. For one day, they will kill her there, honestly, with what she has done to this girl. Okay, this is one of the many we're going to be showing tonight. So, like I said again, accusing her, and most times some of these accusations might not even be true. Some of these accusations might not even be true. She accused this child of stealing what, 1,000 naira or whatever, and maybe she had not fed this child for God knows, because anybody that can do this thing is as inhuman as it can be. Anybody that can do this thing on a child is also somebody that is not taking care of the child, including feeding the child. So if there's a way this child found something to go eat and you come and do something like this to her, that's double punishment. You didn't feed her and you still did this to her. Look at her face. Now, somebody will say now that some of these people that are doing this went through the same thing during their own time and stuff. But again, that pain you went through years ago, you want to put it on another person's child because you went through it. Okay? That is one. All right? This is another one here. I just talked about this one earlier on. Again, because of, again, this one was done by his father, who was a pastor. Okay, my happiness is that all of them has been arrested and they are calling themselves. It's just that they are lucky they are not even being maimed by the society. Okay, now, yeah, this is the same child. This is one of the guys that came to the boy's rescue. Okay, this is one of the people that came to his rescue. You know, he's doing very well now. This is now he's in school. It looks like people, and you see. If you are not in a position to take care of a child, that's another thing. There are somebody there waiting, looking for an opportunity to show love to that child. That is this life we're living in. There's one I'm going to share with us in a minute. Very touching one too. If you think you are not in a position capable of taking care of a child, somebody is willing to send that child to the heavens. Honestly, in that country of ours, somebody is willing to do that. And that's as we have seen, okay? This is another one. Chained also. It's so sorry that some of these things are happening in the north and south. Some of these stories, as I get to read about them, is, this one also was chained. Okay, gotta move the comment on so we can see it. This one also was chained. Can see it because the kind of chain they put on this child. Because of what? Food, which was not given to him. Look at it. And an adult, and these kids, they trust you as their parent. They look for you as their parent to show them love and everything. And instead of showing them love, you're showing them hate, this kind of wickedness. And like I said again, the common thing that all of them say every day when they are caught on this stupid nonsense and art is, I don't know what got into me. It's the devil. This, So they start making all those claims. I don't know what got into me. Something took over me. I saw stories, I read stories. I'm like, for real? You don't know what got into you that you can. You have yourself, you put yourself in that position where these things, this kind of devil will come upon you. You attract whom you are. You attract whom you are. Like I said again, that. Now, this one here really got me. Look at this one. They accused, this one happened in Calabar, in Akwa Ibom. And there's quite a whole lot of them. As I was researching on the story, I came to find out that there's a whole lot of them that they call them witch kids. Okay? And the way the story was being written, was being presented, is that they are witch kids of Nigeria. So this is even a national disgrace. And they're going to see who come to the aid of this child. You see what they use knife to do to him and stuff? Yeah. That there's a witch. Again, like I said again, this one is more prevalent in the in that part of the east, that Akwa Ibom side. We hear about these witches and stuff. Again. Some of these things, some of these stories and accusations and allegement and these kids, some of them might have some kind of credibility. Some of them might be credible into an extent because the witches can also transform themselves in the body of these children to start doing things. If there is something like that, even that happens. If there are things like that happens, that there are witch kids, it's possible that the witches, because these kids are vulnerable, they are not being guided spiritually as you and me as an adult will guide ourselves with prayers, and you know what I mean? So these kids are vulnerable. They are vulnerable, The witches can come in different formats. And start, doing this work, in different format. So these kids, as they are really, really prone to that kind of abuse. They are being abused by the spirits, by the demonic world, and in the natural world also, where they are supposed to be rescued, they are being double abused. Can you imagine? In the spiritual world, they are being abused. Okay? Then when they come out also, where human beings are supposed to protect them and save them from what they're going through in the natural world, they will meet a different kind of abuse also. Because in the spiritual world is a mental abuse, some kind of mental abuse, and but when they come out here, the one they meet here now is physical, like we're seeing on this child now. They were using hot knives and stuff on him. This is his back. You see? This is his back. All they were doing to him. But this woman here, look at who came to his aid, though. Look at who came to his aid. Look at who came to his aid. Look at who came to his aid. This woman, I believe, is from Sweden. She's from Sweden, okay? This woman here, she's from Sweden. And because of, like I said again, this kind of situation is more prevalent in that area of our Nigeria. Okay, in that area of our Nigeria, this woman went in there and commissioned an agency. The commissioned an agency that were rescuing these kids. Think about it. This is a foreigner. This is a foreigner. This boy's name is Precious. Look at the name he was given at birth. Precious. Looking at him, is life precious to this kid? And this, again, is our society. Our society is a breeding ground, okay, for this kind of nonsense. As much as the kids here do the things they do, try this thing on them now and see if you will see daylight again. As much as the kids here that are even doing worse, and than these kids in Nigeria are doing, but they are still being protected. There are laws that protect them and stuff. There are situations that protect them. The community, the society cannot, you know what I'm saying, allow them to go through this kind of abuse. So like I'm saying again, this woman, because of these stories that are, constant in this part of our Nigeria, she now came from her country to commission this, her agency that are now rescuing these kids. So this is one of the kids she had, rescued. Okay, this is one of the kids she rescued this particular one, because of, again, I said, this accusation of witch. So it may be that in that area or in that community or in the state of Akwa Ibom, we grew up hearing that Akwa Ibom people has a whole lot of witches and wizards and all kinds of. We grew up hearing all those things, but now to be taking over kids and acting through kids, okay, is also toxic. That's the state of our community, state of our society. Okay, it's the state of our society. So, like I said again, this woman came from I think Sweden, because the name of our organization is Dino Hijabi. That's the name of our organization that she commissioned in Nigeria specifically to rescue. So, if there is anybody that should know how to do this rescue, wouldn't it be people in Nigeria themselves? And it takes a foreign person to come out and say, no, what you guys are seeing is not what I'm seeing on these kids. And she went into start rescuing quite a whole lot of them, giving them a better lives and all these things, And these are dreams. These are visions. I mean, these are hope. I mean, these kids, as you see them, are everything. The same way all of us were. Like I said again, once upon a time, we were this young. We were this little. Imagine if somebody has dashed you as a hope then. Destroyed you as a hope. Then, whatever you are today as a person, would you have been? Whatever the society is enjoying today of you, would that have been? We should have universal free primary education at least. So that's the thing. Would that have been? Whatever you are today, whoever you are today, would you have been if somebody has dashed your hope? If somebody has caught your vision, caught your your destiny short? Like I said, there's an extent to that. Some of these abuse went to the extent of these kids being killed. Is that some of them I cannot show them here because of issues with Facebook and stuff, but I can talk about them. There was one that I saw where the woman went and buried the child. He buried this child alive, buried behind her house. An auntie. We have We have re-educated our people against child labor and believe in voodoo. Yes. You know, an auntie went behind her own house and buried this child alive. And when the people got the information, because again, what people are not really understanding these days, like I said again, some of these things we're talking about here is as old as we are. In most cases, even older than we are. In most cases, can you really rescue an African child due to kindred? They will go back. I don't understand what you mean by that. I don't go. What do you mean due to kindred? They will go back. I don't understand. You just give me a little clarity on it. You know. But like I'm saying again, the people that are doing these things, yes, you can rescue an African child. Yes, it's possible. Yes, you can. And you know, you can rescue, which is what we're seeing. I mean, I don't know what you mean by. I don't know when you say rescue to what degree are you talking about? But yes, you can. Because these kids, the ones we are talking about now, they were all rescued. They were all rescued by individuals. They were all rescued by organizations. They were all rescued by the law enforcement. You know, so they were all rescued. Quite a whole lot of them also were not. Education will make sure that they attend school. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the education is there, going to school is there, but again, it is not them that is stopping go. It's not them that is denying themselves the education. Is part of this thing we're talking about, part of the abuse. It is the same. These are their aunties and their uncles, okay? Because most times when they go and pick up these children from their parents' homes, okay, when they go and pick up these children from their parents' home, they're picking these children that they are going to take care of them. The number one thing they promise their parents is that I'm going to train him or her through school. And when that child now comes in, they will deny that. They will not. That is the number one thing they will deny that child, that education. They will not give that child that education. When that child eventually comes, and the day they will come to pick up this child is looking at it that his light has shined or her light has shined. That, you know, and the parents themselves are looking at the child as they give you the child. They're saying to themselves that finally hope has come to the family and stuff. They don't know that they're sending out their child in most cases to be killed. Some of these kids now are being used. You go and you pick up this child and you come in and you use this child for ritual. And you start lying about it. I mean, I'm telling you, there are so many stories I saw as I was researching this story. In that our country. Things that you can't even, you say to yourself, are you here? Am I reading correctly? Am I hearing correctly? Am I seeing correctly? Some of the things we see. You know? But like I said again, this woman came to this boy's aid, and she did with so many other people, so many other kids in that area that were being accused of this witchcrafting. You know, they were being accused of this witchcrafting. So all these our pastors, they were looking for places. They were looking for, why can't they go to such a place and do deliverance? So for you to know that some of these our pastors are no. Why can't they go to such a place? These places that will have all these issues and start doing their deliverance instead of staying and be deceiving people. Yes. If you go to that Calabar, churches in that Calabar area or Kwabam area is more than you can even imagine. But these things are happening under their eyes and nose and ears. And they're turning blind eye. These things are happening. Assuming that it's true that this child is being, what is it again? He's been accused of witchcraft dominated. That he's been dominated by the witchcraft. That is living under the influence of the witchcrafting, which child labor is an African problem. We're not talking about child labor yet. I'm still talking about this physical abuse. We'll get to the child labor situation. That one is, every one of us went through some kind of child labor. Yeah, some of us went through that, the child labor thing, And like I said again, some of the things we went through growing up shaped us today. Some things, I understand the child labor, some of them are to an extreme, okay? But every single one of us at a younger age contributed somehow. Kids here also are doing it. kids here also are doing some kind of child labor. At 10 years old, most of you at 10, 12, 13, 15 didn't know what it means to make money. But kids, our kids here at 10 years old, 11 years old, they want to go and start working at Stop and Shop and start working at all these stores. That is child labor. But in Africa, our parents did not just let us out that way to go and. So it depends on to what degree we're talking about. This child labor thing we're talking, is in China, is all over the place, but it's just to what degree. That's not even the one I'm dealing. I'm not dealing with the child labor aspect, because it can be good, also it can be bad. But I'm talking about the one that is completely bad, which is this physical maiming of these children. That's the one I'm dwelling on tonight. The child labor on, yes, I understand. I saw so many child labor situations and stuff, unless they are not being, okay, if you're talking about child labor, okay, let me rework the thing that I've worked so far, said so far, okay? If we're talking about child labor, that these kids were being sent to their parents, to this auntie's house, to go and help these aunties and stuff, okay? If that's the angle that you're coming from, okay? If that's the angle that you're coming from, mental health is real, yes, it is. If that's the angle you are coming from, you can only work with parental permission after the age of 14. But it's still child. I mean, you yourself, with every permission your parents would have given you, would you have loved to work in your country? That's why this sent to work. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Again, I think I'm getting it now from this view that I'm talking about now, which means these kids that we are being sent to go and either be a child carrier, help this auntie here and there and there. Again, the intentions are good. The intentions are good. Because if these kids do not come to your house, you will use your kids, your own kids also will be doing some of the things you want this child to do. So that's why I said some of the things we went through growing up are the things that shaped us today. In as much as where we are now, we can't even get our kids to do certain things that we were asked to do growing up. And those things honestly shaped most of us. And some of those kids that did not touch those things, that didn't carry water in their head, that didn't help to light up fire, some of those kids today, even at the adult age, they don't know how to. You see some people that said, man, growing up, I didn't even know, I didn't enter kitchen, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Okay? And today they're spoiled, because you will get to a stage where that thing becomes needed. You will need it. It becomes helpful. But that's why I'm saying the child labor thing, I'm not really focusing on it. But it's just the treatment, the maltreatment that comes in because that child is under your care. The abuse that takes place because the child is under your care. That's what I'm talking about. There is nothing wrong about the kids coming to help their auntie or work, and the majority of them were still went to school. Majority of during my time, I had little cousins that came to live with us and grew up with us as family. As even the only thing is one of them was even answering my father's name, and everything that I had growing up, she had the same thing. Went to the best schools as I did there and stuff. So depends on the individual. There's nothing wrong having somebody come to your house to live with you guys. I mean, it's a joy. I bet you growing up, you had somebody also, one of your relations that came to live with you guys. And how you guys were treated him or treated her or whatever. So there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just this crossover of physical abuse. Okay, and if that child was to go to school and you don't send him or her to school, that one is abuse on his own, because you are denying him or her also education to be a free person, to become somebody tomorrow. While you gave those things to your own children, but you refused to, the abuse happened because they were unable too young to complete a task given to them. Yeah, they were too young to complete the task that were given to. the things you cannot do. We still see some people doing this thing to their own biological children. We do see that also. I saw one that was, this is her own biological child. She will pick up this child and he will hit the child on the floor, like they're doing wrestling match. And this child is completely defenseless. Pick her up, hit her on the ground again, pick her up, hit her, go and take a stick, and was hitting this child. And somebody was somewhere videoing it. That's another area I want to talk about. Somebody was somewhere videoing when these things are going on. There was one that, I think it was this one that I'm talking about now, and it became a discourse at one of the forums. And people were saying the person that did that video is also complicit to the abuse and stuff. Some people said yes. Some people said, oh, okay, anyways, if he or she didn't do the video, nobody will get to know about this. So it became a two-sided issue. Because I wanted to also talk about the people that, as they see these things, instead of coming to the aid of this child, the same way most of you today and most of us here today, who happen to be, our job calls us to be what they call mandatory reporters. Meaning, if you are in a place and you see an abuse taking place, you are mandated by law to report it. If you don't report it, you are complicit. If you're a nurse, if you're a psychologist, if you are anybody in the medical field or in the law enforcement field, and you see any kind of abuse going on, you cannot turn a blind eye. You must report it as a mandatory reporter. Because if it actually happens under your watch, somehow you happen to be there, they are also, like I said again, you will be complicit because you turn the blind eye. You encourage such a thing. Your silence encourage that act. So in most times, from where we came from, people say these things and they try to mind their business. And that's a no-no. But I'm saying today, because now some of the videos we see now, well, there's a video I'm going to share with us in just a few seconds. Okay, we're going to see how people took matters into their own hands. They did what we call citizenship arrest. Okay, and that is now becoming, because that's how we're now becoming to see some of these things, know about some of these situations. This thing, like I said again, is as old as we are. This abuse. You know, is our culture supports for the children to obey, respect, follow through. There's nothing wrong with a child obeying, respect, and follow through. There's nothing wrong with that. It's all about, you know, but there's something wrong with inflicting this kind of pain on kids, on children. I don't care what it is. Inflicting this kind of pain on a child. Okay? This woman now, can she do this thing on a fellow adult? No, because this child is defenseless. Can she do this? Can she do this thing to an equal peer? This woman now, what she did on this child. No matter how that peer wronged him or her, wronged her, can she do this thing? Can she inflict such a pain on someone of equal stature and equal being? No, she can't. It's because this child is defenseless and nobody came to the defense, because this is a pain. Sometimes this pain takes weeks. This thing starts little by little. Start by little slapping the person, you know, and that spirit now continue to grow in the person, in you, who claims to is a spiritual thing, you know. This woman has mental health issues. Well, that's exactly what we're saying now, because we look at it, we live in a place where, and that is making her case. But you see here, I'm glad you came on tonight, because I've been wondering if you're going to come on this topic. Yes, but this is us giving a big name. We give a big name on a matter like this. That mental issue should be kicked. That mental issue should be slapped out of her. She has mental issues, so which means everybody that did it, all of us have mental problem now. Because there are one or different times we do express some kind of, mediocrity action and attitude. I don't know the kind of, even a non-mental person cannot inflict this kind of pain. Let us be honest to ourselves. This is coming from the place of deep-seated hatred. A non the street, a non-mental deranged person cannot inflict this kind of pain on you, on any human being. Never. So this thing that we look somebody that's normal, we say that person has a mental pain. To me, it's an overbear. Yes. This thing sometimes we look at somebody that does something that is on a different time. We say the person has a mental pain. Okay? No. I don't see any, there's no mental pain here. This person here, if I say sick, I'm buying into that. At times, that mental issue is an excuse because they can't do it to their own child. Yeah. That child she has in her hand now, why wouldn't that her mental incapacity push her to start knifing her own child? You know what I'm saying? They make all these claims and stuff. Okay, they make all these claims. All these people. Okay, what happened again to people that are around there and see these things happen? They also have mental issues too. Because like we said, this thing that you see here is not a one-day thing. Because some of these abuse, as we get to see some of this abuse, it is systematic. It takes time. They do it today, nobody interferes. They do it again, nobody interferes. From there, and they can only grow. The physical abuse can only grow. It starts little. If nobody stops them and stuff, it grows to a crescendo. Okay, let us look at this video because I've been talking about this video because this video is what actually got me into trying to do this show. Okay, I believe most of you have seen the video. Okay, most of you have seen the video that I'm about to show now. Okay, and now when I show you the video, I want you to look at the woman. If you've not seen it, like I said again, most of you must have seen it. But I want us to have a communal feeling on the person, the inflictor, and also the standby, the husband. These people are young couple. We're not talking about age person that will say that my life is, this person is just starting life. Okay? And she's to do this kind of thing. Okay? And she's to do this. Now, blessing. Well, what is he going to do? Okay, now I'm going to show you another video because there are three things I said to that video. This is the other part of the video. This is the key house. You go inside here. This is a different one. I hope I have one. I hope I have something all together. Oh man, I didn't that particular one didn't come through, it didn't download, but it's the actual child himself. Okay, is a child that is similar to the child in picture we are seeing now. Oh, I'm so sorry that video didn't come through. I thought I had downloaded all of them. Okay, of this child, okay, is a similar thing. If you look at this child, the one we're seeing on the picture now, if you look at her own is a child's play to the pain that lady inflicted on this particular child I'm talking about. Her own pain is just this one. It looks like a child's play because that one, her eye, even as much as this one, if you look at her eye, you can see that her eye is also blooded and everything. Okay, but this one is a child's play compared to the pain, the physical pain and abuse that this lady we just saw now on this video.
Blessing.
Look at him, he couldn't control the lady. So, meaning, and that's actually what I'm talking about. When you sit in a place, such crimes are being committed. You are complicit. You are an accessory. So the husband now is being given equal treatment because he saw through that, the abuse on this child that I'm talking about. The husband saw through it and he didn't do anything. There's one also that I came across where the husband also took matters into his own hand to do the reporting. The husband was the one that reported on this particular one that I'm talking about now. I believe in this case, they claim that the young girl, while holding the baby, the child fell from her. Please. Okay. First of all, how old is this child that is holding a child? That's another thing. How old? How old? There are so many ways we can look at that. That thing they're claiming. That thing they're claiming now that is their reason for doing this thing to, they were holding their child. The child fell, the baby fell from her hand. Okay. Okay. She's 8 years old. Okay. Now we saw her body. We saw her body stature and, her body make. We saw that. 8 years old. That 8 years old there is not the 8 years old here with muscles and fat and stuff. Because for them to treat this child this way, that means they've been maltreating her. And imagine giving her somebody to hold. Do you know how many times that auntie must have shouted on her while she's holding that child? Trying to put fear in her. All kinds of things she'll be saying. So in that case, that child really looks like she's 6 years old. Thank you. And you're giving her somebody to hold under that circumstance. Maybe she's afraid. Maybe she hasn't even eaten and all this, and you give her a baby to hold. A child. She herself is a child. Yeah, the child fell off her. The child fell off her hand, which is not good. But that should not warrant this. That should not warrant. I don't know why I don't have that video. I thought I had gotten it, and if I try to bring it up now, I will lose you. I will lose the show will end. So that's what I'm saying. It was not good for such to happen. It was not good. So these days, people are not doing this citizen arrest, like I'm saying. They're taking matters into their own hands now. They're now, apprehending all these perpetrators on these children. Okay, and they're giving them their own water. Nigerians will say. They're giving it back to them. Yes. They're not letting them go free. After giving them their community beating and stuff, then the police will come and take the matters. Most times these cases die in the police. Most times these cases die in the police. Sometimes you say to yourself, some of the children ask them, how did we get here? And stuff. And what they forget that Ada will someday become a girl. Obi will someday become a boy. In these instances, we should encourage parents to keep their children until after 12th grade. Yeah, we should encourage them, but again, what you're saying are these are things we can do to stop this. Okay, but you also forget that a lot of people have also gone through this situation and gone through these sections, and they still became people. They still became important people in the society, and like I said again, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong when people go through this. There's nothing wrong at all when people go through this. What is wrong? What is wrong is when people are not being taken advantage of the fact that they are under your care and you start inflicting this kind of pain on them. No, that is wrong. That's wrong. You know, our society is corrupt where kids can go and live with their auntie or live with, somebody because their parents can't take care of them and stuff. Most of these situations, these kids are promised education first and foremost. And when you know that child is going to go through abuses, when that child comes in and they don't go to school, that thing you promised them, some parents, that's all they ask of you. Please make sure my child goes to school. Some parents, that's what most parents will ask you before they give you their child. They will beg you to make sure that he or she goes to school. So if that child comes in and the first thing you deny him or her is that education, then eventually the abuse has started. Yes. If that child comes around and the first thing you deny that child is that thing you've promised the parent that you are going to do, which is to give him or her education, you've denied that child. You've denied that child, honestly. And that's how you know when a child is going to, that's the alarm. The alarm is right there. That's how you know somebody that is going to be having a hard time. The number one thing most parents does this, mostly when these kids come in at that younger age, at that 5, 6 years old age. Some kids are picked up at 3 years old. Like I said, the one that lived with us growing up, she's a big-time lady today. Big-time lady. I call her Adanne. Because she was like our second daughter growing up. She came to us when she was 3 years old. She came to us when she was 3 years old. So we literally grew up with her. She went to the schools, she went to everything. Today, she's happily married with kids and stuff. She still remains my identity tomorrow. So it's not a must that these kids will be denied that. And like I said again, I'm not against them going to live with, because if we continue to say no until they go to, until they get to 12th grade or whatever, as Ngo is suggesting. What if the parents can't even train them to first grade and stuff? And they have people that can train them to university and everything, train them to the extent that they will get married and stuff, as in the case of the one I'm talking about in my family. So yeah, I'm not against that. I'm against the ones that will come in sheep clothing, they say, pick up this child only to come in and start abusing this child. Those are the ones I'm against. One of the times I went home, I covered this topic about feeding the children well as they were growing. Growing child needs good food. Okay, I hear you, Ngo. All these things like what you just mentioned now about, feeding them well and stuff. That's another form of abuse. Neglect. That's that neglect part. Another neglect part is this thing, not giving them the education they need. Because every child needs education. Okay? You brought this person as an adult, or as a child, not even as a kid, as a child. Like I said to you, some people comes in at 2 years old, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. This person we're talking about now, it's just like you just said, 6 or 8 years old. So which means she came in as a child to come and live with this family. And this thing happened to your own child. Again, I'm not saying that that child fell out of her hand, if that is the story, is good. But the point is, what made that child to fell out of her hands? Maybe she's hungry. Maybe she had not eaten for days, because these people look like people that have been torturing this child. What they inflicted on that child was not the first time. That was not the first time. So we hear these stories all over the place. And people will try to justify it. There's nothing to justify about some of the pictures we saw tonight and some of the ones we couldn't be able to bring up on the air. There's nothing to justify, no excuse to justify it. I showed us some because the child took 1,000. Sometimes they say because the child lied, he lied about something. You know, all kinds of things they try to make as an excuse. You know, the people who did not receive it well, they naturally eat and feed their children what is left. You know, they naturally eat and feed the children what is left. You know, yeah, that's exactly what. Again, that's what we're talking about. All these things are abuse. All these things are abuse. What is good for the geese is good for the gender. You know, if you're going to be feeding your, you know, there's one I saw one time. I went somewhere, and in one of the eating place in Abuja, I think it's like a McDonald's. So this family came in. They came in for ice cream. They brought their kids for ice cream, and they brought their kids for ice cream and pizza. Yes. Okay. So they brought them for. Again, I hear you, is common among the Igbos. You better tell me what is common among the Igbos. What part of the abuse? Because we saw quite a whole lot of them tonight, and I told us that most of them that I saw, okay, these ones that are completely inhumane. In terms of the beating ones, yeah, that one is on the Igbo, yeah, you know, a little bit on the Igbo side. In as much as that one is rampant, it's all over Nigeria, but there were ones that were really heavily. See, those ones about chaining, okay, knifing, and all those ones. The knifing one was in the south, in the Yoruba side. Then the chaining one was in the north. But the one about the beating with the stick until your body will start bleeding and stuff, that one is on the eastern side. Like I said again, there are so many things they were doing. And the worst of it all is when you do this thing and that child dies. And that child dies, as it was in some cases. The child, this case lost their lives. And they tried to do a mark sheet burial and stuff like that. You know? But the point now is that people are now angry. And the very first time I saw this tape, not this particular tape, I saw this kind of abuse and how people retaliated on the abuser. Oh, I was so happy. Then to come and find out that what they call Ministry of I forgot how to word that in, but it's a ministry that looks into this kind of situation: child abuse, women abuse, and all kinds of abuse. They have that ministry in Nigeria now, which was not there, during our time growing up. Because if it was there, a lot of our parents would have been locked up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly. So the thing here is that in this day and age of internet and everything, where these things are being shown on the internet now, on WhatsApp, on Twitter, on all kinds of social media handles, these things are being shown now. So it's no longer your problem now. It's no longer just for your eyes only. No. When you think it, because before you be doing it you think, okay, nobody is watching me, nobody is seeing me. Not anymore. That neighbor that don't used to have a phone now has a phone, and that phone has a camera, and that neighbor is angry with you because that neighbor has been watching you do all these things, but he or she couldn't say anything. So now, with the camera now, he's still not saying anything to you, but he's allowing his own camera speak for the child. And that's how we get to. Some of them also, this thing get into their head. This is their demonic thing that comes over them, gets into their head that they don't even care who is watching. They don't even care if 1 million cameras are taping them. But again, I said to people, if it's a situation where you have more than 1 or 2 cameras, the rest of the people should drop their camera and go and rescue that child. Everybody cannot be recording at the same time. No. When that child is still going through that. No. All we need is just 1 camera. That's all we need. We don't need 10 people there recording at the same time and that child is still going through the abuse. So for all of us that want to record and be, please, some of you should drop your cameras and run and rescue that child. And I think that's what happened with I think with this child. What happened with this child? It looks like they sent this child to go get something outside, because this thing happened inside. This treatment happened inside, which I believe some neighbors also were hearing. But they sent this child for something outside, So I think when she was on going outside, that people now saw her. Maybe started asking her, and she said, "I'm my auntie." Chai. It's quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate that we have the people with this kind of demon-possessed spirit living among us. But when it comes to their own child, the Holy Spirit comes in. When it comes to somebody else's child, the demons takes over. Mba no. Mba. Honestly, mba. There's another tape I would love us to watch that I saw this afternoon. I looked at it as also a form of child abuse. That was why I took to that tape. It's a different kind of situation, though. Excuse me. It's a different kind of situation, but because, again, I looked at it and I can comfortably call it child abuse, because when a child cannot defend himself, because if that child can defend himself, then that child can fight you off or will fight you off. Yes, that child will fight you off. But when you have a child that is completely defenseless, mostly we're talking about babies, not even toddlers, babies in the baby of months, weeks. Okay? Every child that God has brought to this world has the right to live. Has the right to live. Because if we're in the habit of taking people's life when they are like in the months and stuff, including people that were yet unborn, we know how it means, how it feels when a woman loses her womb, loses her pregnancy. Her torture. This is a child she has not even seen. But for the fact that she had that feel in her that she's pregnant, and all of a sudden she loses it, it hurts. It hurts. Talk about a child that has actually come out or came out to live and enjoy this world, and now she or he is being treated this way. I want us to look at this video. On this video, these people, what they do is they go and they will basically, I don't want to use the word rent, but they go to some place and they go and take babies, not even, these are babies, because in this case, it's in weeks and months. It's in weeks and months. They go and take these babies, either from the babies' homes, nursing homes, or wherever they get them, okay? And they will come to the street, carry them as if, they are their kids or their child, but they cannot be able to take care. And when they do these ones, they don't come with one child, one baby, they come with like 3, 4, 5, 6 displayed all around them, so that you will be forced to speak to your conscience. So you'll be forced to do something. And people, they make money on a daily basis. We're gonna watch this tape and see how it played out. Okay.
Now, who will be the father of these children? You don't know where the papa is. Eh? Now, we want to get these children. Eh? Oh, now we want to get these children. Are you aware that this place is not healthy for these children? Are you aware? Are you also aware that kidnappers, ritualists, can stop here now, carry any of the children and run away? Are you aware? And I'm not comfortable with that. Now this one is acting dumb and deaf. You are claiming that you don't know where she come from. You don't know where you live. You don't know your address. You don't know where you come from. You don't know anything about these children. You don't know anything about this woman. You don't know anything about where you live. Now, for our viewers all over the world, we are ready to take care of these children if they are legit. For those of you waiting on the Lord for the fruit of the womb, we are moving these children out of the street right now. That they hire these children just to beg money. We will make sure they spend the rest of their lives in jail. But the children will be well taken care of. So if you are interested in helping us to take care of these children, whether she is the biological mother to the children or not, the important thing is that we will not allow these children to continue to be exposed to ill health, danger of the street, and all that. As you look at the children, they are too tender to be here. So please contact us. If you're watching us from Europe, if you're watching us from Britain, if you're watching us from South Africa, if you're watching us from any of the Asian countries or any of the African countries, and you still want God to bless you with the fruit of the womb, you want God to bless your marriage with children, contact us immediately. We are taking care of these children henceforth. Listen to me now. We are going straight to the police station. Are you hearing me? You will record your statement on her behalf. Like, how much do you make every day? How much do you make every day? Speak louder now. How much you know they make? How much you know they get every day? You say what? Some days you get 10,000. Some days you get 15,000. Who is this? The auntie? The coordinator? I know the deal. I'm from Ononye. I already know that she is not the mother of these children. That she uses these children to make money for the auntie. For the auntie. You are all looking for the auntie, and we know. And by the time we hand you over to the police, you will provide the auntie. Yes. Forget that. Money pop, money pop, all your guitar. You can't be going to make it go for the day. These people are really making money.
10,000 to 50,000 a day.
Huh? They are really making money. You make go for the day. Look at these children. Look at the person that claimed to be their mother. Unfortunately, even the person that claimed to be their mother and the helper are working for one woman, one auntie. That auntie needs to tell us where she gets these little children from. I pitied them. I carried the babies. I gave them money. Unknown to me that this could be arranged. Now I have been reliably informed that these people are doing business with little children like this. You make 10 to 15,000 naira every day. You hand it, come. Who do you give the money after the day business? Who do you give the money?
Answer now.
Now who you they give money after when you close? Eh? That woman. Now the auntie. So you collect the money At the end of the day, you go and do account for the auntie. Oh, where guy believe? Where preacher umaka where dash ya fego? Send you all on fanya fego. And you got 2,000. I'm no come. I'm a association of Indian lady. And they don't change.
Okay. Well, we just saw that video. Okay. Like I was saying, if you just joined us, what that video was all about is this group of, you just had the father, he was speaking Igbo. In case you don't understand Igbo, what he was actually saying or what took place there was these ladies will go and they will get the kids they have there, almost 5 of them. She's carrying 2 in her hands. These are for people to feel bad and make, pity her and stuff. That she have all these kids and she can't take care of them. Okay? Some of them, if you look at, because what even makes it suspicious is that some of these kids are within the age limit. Okay? So did you have quadruple? Did you have what is it? Did you have twins and all those things? So she'll have all these kids. That is, has suspicion reaching all over it already. Okay? Then they will come out and they will go, like I said, they will go and get these kids. I don't know if they rent them or whatever they do to do, how they get them, but they get them from somewhere, either hospital or a baby's home. Now you hear them start talking about an auntie, okay, who looks like she's the one that is coordinating all these things, that is the main person that gets these babies, and she gives it to these young ladies to go and be sitting on street corners and be begging money, basically. Okay? Now, that's abuse. That's abuse in the height. If I'm talking about abuse, yes, I can understand the physical abuse, but imagine when you start abusing these young kids that were I thank the father what he was saying, because now he's saying that they are going to get to the bottom of it. That auntie definitely is going to be somebody that is known, so they're going to start from her, and also to the hospitals or to the babies home where they get these children every day, exposing them to this kind of situation. That is abuse in the highest order. So I'm happy that this father, now they're going to basically take the ones they saw there and they're going to get to it. Anywhere that auntie runs to, they're going to go after her and they're going to get her. Because this one is crime against, okay? And when they get this money, they go and account for her on a daily business, because it's business for her. And these are the kind of people we have in Nigeria. Someday you wonder why people die the way they die and things happen the way it happens. And like the father was saying, people can come there, it's not their child, it's not their kids. So people, all these bad people, ritualists can come in there and grab any of these kids and run away. They're not going to do anything because it's not their child. They're not emotionally attached to the circumstance or to the child. You saw her there, she wasn't even saying anything. With everything the father was saying, she never opened her mouth to say a word. It was her accomplice that is behind her that was saying, that was talking. But she herself, that was supposedly the mother, she never answered a single question that was being asked of her or asked to her. So that's what is going on there. So it's a business, it's a syndicated business run by this particular auntie, whom they are gonna. I'm also following that situation because I want to know how they're gonna, when they get that auntie, what's gonna happen. Because these kind of people are connected in the society. This kind of aunties does this. And I bet you that is not the only sport that she has. This kind of people will have maybe 50 or 60 places in the area with this kind of situation. Because he pays. This is one of those crimes that pays. It's quite unfortunate, honestly. It's quite unfortunate. Like I told us starting this show, that this show is so dear to me. Okay, it's a very passionate show. It's quite unfortunate that a whole lot of us didn't come on today. Because one of the things I came to realize about this social media and some of these shows is people are selective to the things. They are sensitive and selective to the things they want to hear. But for us, we are set out to do this. Okay, we are commissioned to take care of provocative topics and stuff. It doesn't have to be popular with everybody. Okay, but so long as we say it and speak it as God has commanded us to do, I will continue to do so. You know what I'm saying? Because it would be a crime on my part and a sin on my part that I will see such a thing and turn a blind eye because it's not my child or it's not my relation or anything like that. Okay, then I will decide not to talk about it when it's a situation that needs some kind of exposure, some kind of awakening. Okay, we don't do shows because those shows are popular. We do shows because they are the right shows to be done. Okay, so and like I know a lot of us are going to come after the show. Okay, a lot of us are going to come after the show to see this. But at any given time you see this show, please, it's one of those ones I will beg of you to share. Okay, share mostly in the forums that has a lot of Nigerians in it. Share it mostly the ones back home. Like I said again, in the midst of trying to research for this show, I didn't come across any of these things happening in America. Neither did I come across it happening in Europe. You know, it was all happening in Africa. You know, especially I concentrated on Nigeria. You know, our country. I concentrated more there, but it's something that is prevalent. It's happening all over the world. If you go and Google it, you see all kinds of stories and you know, disturbing stories, disheartening stories, you know, and stuff. You know, so that's what it is tonight. This is maybe the second or the third longest show we've done in terms of duration, but rightfully so. It's a kind of show that I would like to do every day, given that opportunity. I would like to do it all the time, okay? Because these kids, as vulnerable as they are, they don't have anywhere that speaks for them. So if this is the best we can do to bring awareness again to it, so be it, you know. But it was quite some disturbing pictures tonight and disturbing stories. There's so many of them. I know that you must have come across some also, but there's no part of this story as you come across it that is good. There is none. No, there is none that you'll be clapping for the person. To some of us to some of them that want us to justify their actions, okay, and clap for them and say that they did well because the child did wrong. Okay, no, no. Okay, based on your reaction to the child action, okay, I say no. I say no, and every one of us should say no. We should say no to such a reaction. There's no action committed by these kids. Mind you, they're kids, and I still say it. The reason why you were able to do these things on this child, on these kids, is because they are defenseless. Okay. If an adult is to do what they did, you in particular will not be able to inflict such a pain on that child, on that adult, or that person. No. But because this child is defenseless, as you're beating him or her, they can't even if they raise their hand now, another problem is times 10. If they run away, that one not to kill them. So anything the child will do to save him or herself only increases the tempo and the temper of the situation. Yes. If that child wants to run away or wants to defend, either raise his hand or, you know, and when they beat these children, they beat them with reckless abandon. They don't care where the thing is landing. Sometimes growing up, when the teachers want to flog us and stuff, it's targeted flogging. It's targeted, you know, they say, okay, turn your back, bring out your hand and stuff. They target an area and but here they beat with the belt. As in some cases we saw with knives, we saw weapons, okay, all kinds of weapons, pots, all kinds of things. Stick, everything that the person can get their hands on, they're releasing it on this child. And they don't care where it lands. That's why you see, when you see some of these kids, their heads are swollen, their faces are swollen, their bodies cry, everything, because they were beating them without caring where the thing is landed. We can't justify that. Nothing. I read through most of the stories. I read so many stories to be able to put together this show tonight. So many. And there's none for me to, there's none I was clapping for the person. No, not even a single one that I clapped for the abuser. None. Mm-mm. And I'm leaving the air tonight to still say, say it as I started it. It's completely wrong. An attack on one is an attack on many. It might not be your child today, but someday it might be a relation of yours. It might be a relation of yours. Nobody knows tomorrow. It might be a second or third grandchild in generation to come, when you are long gone. And your silence today will be a silence of another person against your child, against your family member tomorrow. And you don't even know you don't even know if any of these children are related to you by nature. You don't know. So this is why we can't keep quiet. We can't turn a blind eye, turn a deaf ear, okay, to the crime being perpetuated against these children again around us. No, we cannot anymore. And I thank God and I thank the people that choose to take matters into their own hands to do some of this citizenship arrest, okay, and they deal with some of these people. Some of them, they do deal with them before they hand them over to the police, So this got to stop. If I have an opportunity to deal with this matter again in any shape or form, gladly I will do. I will take it. If there's any update I have to give on this matter, any victory story to give on a matter related to this, I will. Like in the case of this young man, one of them I showed us here today. The case of this young man, this one here, this is a success story. This is a success story. Handsome young kid like this. Look at him. And they chained him. His father did. I told us this. His father, who was a pastor, chained him here because of the mother died 2 years before then, and the father was married to other. She had this kid had two stepmothers with 17 siblings, and they were all living comfortably. The rest of them were living comfortably because of whatever he was perceived to have done. The father now went. I would not say the whole family. The whole family went and they locked him up on for 2 years. He was like this, boy was like this until he was rescued. And look at him now. As of the time they took this picture, okay, imagine what could have happened in days to come before he was rescued. Maybe he would have died. But look at him now. The people that took him sent him to the best schools and everything. He's not thriving. And eventually someday he will become somebody. You know what I'm saying? So that thing they did not see in him that he has. But because of a circumstance, imagine a child that his mother died among the 3 wives. His own mother died. Maybe he's the only child of that mother. And they started inflicting this abuse on him because he doesn't have anybody now to rescue him. Then the 19 members of the family. Imagine how long he's been sitting in this particular spot with this chain. Oh no. I bet the father is receiving his own chain this thing in the jail today. I bet he is. And even the mothers and his siblings, if there are adult ones amongst them, they all should be responsible for this child abuse as it is. But today, like I said again, today he's a success story, okay? As most of them, by God's grace, will be someday. They will be someday, because they are growing. They will be all someday, and become whom God has destined them to be. Then to the ones that did not make it, because there are some also who couldn't make it, who died in the process. Yes, that's the absolute truth. Some of these young kids died in the process. They did not make it. Either help came late or help did not come at all. or help did not come at all. And they gave up the ghost. So to those ones, we say rest in peace. Wherever you are, rest in peace and forgive the society for not coming to your help and to your aid on time. Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It has been quite a show tonight. Like I said, starting this show, that this show is, to me, the best to me. If I'm to rate the show, I've done close to 100 shows now. So if I'm to rate it, this will be my best, one of my best, if not the best show that I've done, because of what it does to my spirit. What it does to my spirit. So I pray also that the feelings, it will speak to your feelings. These pictures will speak to your feelings at any given time you come across this show, that they will speak to your feelings. There is nothing we can do right now because some of these stories are a little bit old. There's some of them are 2, 3, 4, 5 years old in a sense. But the point is that it's still happening on a daily basis. One of the ones we saw just happened last week, last week or a few days ago. One of the ones we just saw, the one the lady beat with the husband watching, and he was torturing this young kid that is 6 or 8 years old. So it just happened. Okay, so it's still happening, and it's happening all over the world. It's just the ones we've seen, the ones we've heard, the ones we've read, but there are a gazillion ones we are not seeing. We're not seeing. So to those ones, we pray that God will raise somebody to come to your aid and to your help, as you need, wherever you are. So once again, I thank you so very much. Ngo, I thank you for contributing. Uche Daddy, I thank you for contributing. So I thank you, every one of you that contributed tonight to the show. You gave us your 2 cents, and I thank you so very much for that. And those of you that watched tonight, I thank you for tuning in. And those of you that will be coming later on, I thank you for tuning in. I'm still asking that you share this tape, okay? We want this tape to reach people there, at least if nothing, for them to know that their situation is being talked about. All right? So again, thank you so very much from all of us here in the studio, here at Unique Images Media Group. Okay? To all that are yours and where you are staying, I still remain yours truly, Sydney Blessing Iwala, SBI. Okay? That is the show for today. All right? We're now saying thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Until next time, family. Till next time.